What's up, everybody? This is Heather Banks. I'm with Stuntgametv TV at Track House, tracking it out. What's up? This is your girl Heather Banks, and I am with Stuntgametv TV. Right? I'm not ready, but don't worry. This is your girl Heather Banks, and I'm with Stuntgametv TV. No, I'm not saying it right.
You're watching.
Oh, you're watching. Okay, watching. Okay. This is your girl Heather Banks, and you're watching Stuntgametv TV.
Stuntgametv,
What's the deal? This your boy Skateboard, and today we have
Heather Banks.
Alright, man. So tell me, Miss Banks, how old are you?
What did you just call me?
Miss Banks?
You said Miss Banks.
Miss Banks.
Oh, okay. And you said what now?
How old am I? How old are you?
How old are you? I don't know how old you are.
I don't know. I'm 34. Okay. I don't got no problem to tell you. I'm 34.
Okay, I'm 35.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I'm 35.
Okay. You don't look a day over 25.
I know that's what I hear. You know.
You know.
That's what I hear a lot.
So we're at the Track House. Okay. So what do you sing? You sing
Tell you about myself.
No.
What I sing.
You're gonna tell me about yourself regardless.
Okay. Yes.
But you sing contemporary?
Yes. I sing contemporary R&B and soul.
And soul.
Yes.
Okay.
Or alternative R&B.
Alternative R&B. Now that's something that I've never really heard before, and I know we was talking about that earlier, and you was kind of explaining that. So for a lot of people that don't understand what alternative R&B is, could you kind of go
Elaborate?
to? Yes,
Sure.
ma'am.
I'm sorry. Like, is that rude for me to answer?
Nah, man,
Like,
this is raw. This is raw. If you want to finish my sentence, we got that.
I'm sorry. That's a woman
on.
thing. I think once you get over a certain age, like, you just start.
If we got that telepathy going on, then hey, you can finish my sentences anytime.
Well, basically, contemporary R&B and our alternative soul is what people are calling, I guess, Bruno Mars and Beyonce's newest album. Adele is in that same genre. I think Lorde, the artist Lorde, is in that genre as well. So that's, what I call, or why I label myself as alternative R&B, because my songs are not just, what you're used to hearing as far as R&B is concerned.
Okay, and you're 35, so who really inspired you to really sing and to keep this going?
Everybody sings in my family. We're a musical family. So, and then of course, the whole story that fits most black people is that we all started singing in church. And that's pretty much where my inspiration comes from. My father is a jazz musician, and my mother used to sing jazz as well. And she's a poet. My grandmother sings. Everybody sings. So
Okay.
that's just pretty much,
So being that you come from a family of musicians, do you write a lot of your stuff? Do you produce?
Yes, I write and I produce. I write for myself. I have written for other artists, and I've made music for other artists as well.
Such as?
One of the artists that I've written for is named Sean Renee. Another one, artist that I've wrote for and produced for is, she calls herself Sweet Tea, but her name is Tamara. And so I've also worked with my brother in writing and producing some songs as well, and demo and song background and,
Background for who?
Well, not for nobody that you know of.
Oh, okay.
No, you know what? I'm lying. I did do background for Scarface for some shows that he had going on some time ago. It was a while ago.
Well, it's Scarface nevertheless.
Yeah, Scarface, yeah.
Scarface nevertheless, that's an H-Town legend. So
yes, definitely.
when you're in presence of greatness, then don't dumb it down, cause I haven't been around Scarface, so I don't know. So that's you looking like a star in my eyes. So
Oh, that's sweet. Thank you.
I try to be sweet. I try to be sweet. So you say that your mom sung jazz,
Hmm.
and your dad was in jazz as well. So why didn't you lean towards that instead of going R&B?
Well, I mean, to be honest, I don't think any artist is one particular, genre. I think that's more based for me, for the business side and marketing. You know, we as artists don't like to put ourselves in a category, but in order for us to be able to be sold, and to find an audience, they kind of put you somewhere. So I think there are elements of jazz in my music. Not all of my songs, but because I love music, I try to, or maybe not even trying, different kinds of music actually comes out and different sounds comes out into like a music soup or a music gumbo that is, in my opinion, dope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's what Bruno Mars is doing now. He's reaching back and grabbing the old R&B and mixing it with the new pop, and that's, it just is what it is. It works.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I agree.
just creativity.
I agree 100% with that. So, who inspired you?
Inspired me. Whitney Houston was probably one of the first people who I could say like really inspired me, like from a little girl. Like
How
when I
old were
heard
you?
her, I was probably, I don't think I was in school yet. I probably was like 3 or 4.
3 or 4?
Yeah.
You remember the song?
I Want to Dance with Somebody.
Mm.
Yeah, that was the song. So, and then I think that was the point at which my parents realized that I could sing, was when I was singing that song at like 4.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
I had to have been like 4 or 3 or 4. One of those ages. Too
Okay.
long, too far back to remember.
So, when did you decide to start producing and start writing your own lyrics and everything?
I actually it's been about, I just recently started producing, like maybe a year or a year and a half. Hasn't been long. But I mean, I have great people around me that kind of, help guide me into making my art better. So I have, of course, I got Mr. P. Rod, with Trackhouse Entertainment,
Yeah.
which, and then is another producer I had worked with, and his name is Alo. He's out of Chicago by way of Dallas to Houston. And those are pretty much the 2 producers that I've worked with the most.
Okay. Are you signing anybody?
No.
Okay. So you free
I'm
agent.
independent, yeah.
Independent. Okay. That's where the money is right now. It's in that independent lane. You really don't have to be signed to anybody. You know the way the music can get to people right now is quick, so you really don't have to be signed to anybody. It's really better to be independent, kind of.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. And
have
with
to
a
make
team.
your own
It's
money.
good to be independent with a team.
There
They
you
know
go,
what they
because
doing.
everybody gotta have your own team. Everybody gotta have their team and everything. So, is there any people that you worked with?
Let's see. Actually, as far as music is concerned, I think back in the gap is when I did most of my, like when I say back in the gap, like when I was a teen, I worked with one of the ladies who started Girls Time, and she was helping manage Girls Time, which was the group that Beyonce was in. It's a whole little conglomerate of a whole bunch of little girls, and the lady's name was Deborah Leday. And that's pretty much where we first started, meeting different people. But my life actually took a turn from singing into acting. And where I was trying to make it with the singing at a young age, I ended up falling into acting. And when I started acting, I've been on stage with people like Richard Roundtree. I've did a play that was based off of a book by Michael Baisden, where we did a national tour with I'm Ready Productions, with the producer Jacarius Johnson.
Yeah.
And I've met Alan Payne, Monifa, Christopher Williams, Malik Yoba.
That's the dude from New York Undercover, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've brushed shoulders with some Hollywood royalty, and I mean I feel blessed that I've had that opportunity to do that.
Okay. Being that you've been in the music game so long, what would you say would be some of your like trials and tribulations that's just like just getting your foot in the door and everything like that as far as your music career?
I think that one of the most difficult things is as an artist, like once again with the whole creativity thing, is that in order for you to be marketed, you have to be trusted to know what you're doing. You know what I mean? Being believable, working on your image, working on your critiquing your voice to make sure that your vocals are correct, make sure that you can give a good stage performance. Like, I mean, all of those things are factors. It's more to the music than just being creative or being talented. You know, you have to be able to get out there and work it, you know. I say so that's probably been one of the most difficult things, like being able to have a consistent progression. It's been, and then everything is kind of clicked up. If you're not in a certain clique, then it doesn't matter about your talent. They want to know, well, who are you working with, and if they didn't like the clique you was working with, or you know what I mean, like it's all kind of crazy beefs that you don't even know about before you get into it, you know. And then the other thing I would say, being a female in a game that was mostly, you know, predominantly men, was very hard, especially being a young female, because people don't really take you seriously, or they want to, oh yeah, you talented, but let me put you over here, and then, you know, I want to screw around with you a little bit, and if you're not about that life, then, you know, you can't really, you know what I mean, it's
Can't
like you
progress.
need that protection, you know what I
Yeah,
mean, you need
yeah.
somebody to come in and say, you know, like, you're not finna, you know what I'm saying, do your business for you.
Yeah.
So that's having good representation and somebody that you can trust with your money, or, you know, when you're doing shows that's not gonna take your money, or tell, you know, the game is the game. It's hard, but when you love it, you know, you can't imagine life without it. So what do? You can't stop. Keep it moving.
How many songs have you written?
Oh,
Or written?
wow. I don't even know how many songs I wrote. I started writing probably when I was like 12, like writing full songs when I was 12. And before that, I wrote poetry. And it kind of just developed into, you know, writing songs. So I mean.
So you seem like you got a good head on your shoulders. You seem like you got the business side down. And you said you dabbled in acting. But it seems like you came back to the music. So what was the difference in acting? Why you didn't stick with the acting? Or do you still act?
I do still act. Well, basically, the pause in my career as far as acting came, with acting, there's a lot of travel if you want to make money with acting. There's money to be made with acting that's actually easier than music. But I have 3 children. I'm a mother. And I couldn't, you know, I wasn't able to leave my kids and be gone for long stretches of time.
That's
I
understandable,
wasn't going to
yeah.
compromise with that. But now my children are older, you know what I mean, and I can do my thing now, you know. So
Yeah, so now it's back to the
so
basics.
now it's back
Yeah.
to the drawing board.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, it look like the sky's the limit for you. There's no ceiling on your success. And from the music that I've heard, you can sing. You know, it's a lot of. You know, I'm not gonna say no names, but you know, if you watch my Instagram, you know how I feel about a certain person in H-Town that I feel that's not representative of Houston. But you represent, your voice is immaculate. It's awesome. So usually if you rap, I ask everybody to rap, but since I think you're probably the first R&B singer that I've interviewed, I think. So I would like you to bless the microphone with your voice.
I would love to. I've been waiting for you to ask me that.
I mean, I've been waiting, but you know, we gotta get to that climax so we can hear this joyous thing that's coming.
Okay, so I'm gonna sing a little bit of a song that called "Don't Care" that I recently did with with Mr. P. Rod in Trackhouse Entertainment. He beefed it up, made it better. But anyway, so lend me your essence tonight. Enjoy your company, and that I can't lie. Drown out the noise from behind. You are my focus when you are here. What am I supposed to do when inside my body is craving your body? I hope you don't mind if love's on the menu. I'm ordering in tonight. Right now I don't care. Okay, I'll leave that there.
I mean, I need love to be on the menu. I need love to be on the menu tonight. For me, I mean, I need a fan or something, man. It's getting hot up in here, man. God, yeah, man. What can they find you with on your social media?
Right now I have a Reverb Nation. That's basically reverbnation.com/BackHeatherBanks. And that song is on there, as well as H-Town Salute, which is a song I did that just basically kind of commemorates the sound of Houston, with a little twist to it, with a little Heather Banks twist to it. And I got, of course, P-Rod on there, and what's the gentleman's name that we put in? What is his name? That's featuring on the record?
Cap One?
Cap One. Cap One is featuring on that
Cap
record.
One, that would be Cap One from True?
From South.
From True?
South Park Coalition.
South Park Coalition, okay.
From South Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's bad. Yeah, H-Town song.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I have to ask you this. What are you doing for the culture as far as an R&B singer coming from Houston? Now I know it's not a lot of female R&B singers. Beyonce, other than I can't Beyonce. Brooke Valentine, she had a song, and just Britney. So Beyonce is still going. Just Britney just got signed to MMG. I think Brooke Valentine's doing reality shows or something like that. So I think the only one that's really keeping the culture going is Beyonce. So what, as far as R&B, so what are you doing for that?
That's a good question. That's something I probably have to put some thought into. I'm not sure if I'm actually grasping what you're asking me, but if I would try to answer.
Let me explain. As far as the sound that comes from Houston, as far as the music, like as far as when Beyonce sings H-Town bitches, H-Town bitches.
Right.
You know, she keeping that
Repping
that screw,
H-Town,
keeping that, H-Town, that screw, that's chopping, that keeping the culture going. That's a Houston thing. That's a Houston tone, like that. So as far as that, what are you doing as far as in your music to incorporate the culture and the Houston culture into your music?
Well, that's back to the song H-Town Salute. The name of the song is H-Town Salute. And in the song, it's talking about the different hoods, and then I start throwing in the different, the people that are from Houston who started, made that whole era when music started popping and people started recognizing Houston, and that's in the song. So I did that song specifically for Houston. And just remembering from the south side to the north side, back from when we had school dances in the hood, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all of that, like that's in the music and who we were listening to at that time. So I actually just give shout outs to the different hoods and everything in the song. Mm-hmm. So I can't wait for you guys to hear it. I mean, I've had people like, man, that needs to be on the radio. Have they heard it at 97.9, the box, But that's what I'm doing for Houston, And then not only that, I think that people don't realize how much great music comes out of Houston.
I agree.
Because there's a lot of people who moved from Houston in order to be able to make it in the business. that are writing for other artists and producing for other artists. So really, it's Houston sound.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people think Atlanta sound is Atlanta, but that's not accurate.
Yeah.
The only Atlanta sound that came out of Atlanta was with Outkast and that crew. Everything else is Houston. You know what I'm saying? Houston and Miami. You know, so you know, Houston is so much talent here, and it's better than a diamond in the rough. You know what I mean? It produces all kind of different jewels and gems. So, I mean, I really feel like Houston is on the up and up, on the come up, and just bridging the gap between the people that's already here. I feel like we need to really come together instead of and having these other little cliques and just show everybody else how we do it down south, Southern hospitality, you know.
I agree. That's what Stunt Gang TV is about, trying to bring Houston to where you won't have to go to Dallas.
Right.
You won't have to go to Atlanta or
One-stop shop, right?
Yeah, you can come here. You can come here. I interviewed P-Rod. He felt the same way. You know, he wants to bring everything to Houston. You know, bring the city up and have the city support its own and everything. And I think it would be ungentleman, like of me, you know, to have a gorgeous lady in my presence, and knowing the things that happened in the past couple of weeks, that it would be just rude of me not to ask you, how did you hold up during Hurricane Harvey and all of that?
I was blessed. I mean, you know, it was heartbreaking, and it was. I think the worst thing about it was being in a spot, not able to move, and not knowing, you know, if your family members were okay in different areas, and then seeing your family members on the news being rescued, or, you know, or seeing your area where you live at, like, being just, you know, just losing everything. And I think that it's different when you see it somewhere else. You feel like you can't be touched. Yeah. And I feel like that was God's way of showing us that, we can be touched. You know what I'm saying? So it just, at the same time, I feel like it was a blessing and a curse at the same time. Because a lot of people, it gave them opportunity to start over. Some people needed to let go of some of the things that were in the past. You know what I'm saying? So it's time to move forward, you know, and rebuild. And I think that's where we should be collectively, in the mindset of rebuilding, you know. And since we was holding on so much to the political, you know, drama and everything, the reality of it is we have to come back to our communities and stop moving out of the communities and give our youth something to look forward to know that there's more than, you know, what they see every day. And people do care. So maybe we need to rebuild our communities, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's gonna give us handouts, you know?
I agree. Nobody will help us unless
we help ourselves.
I agree.
So I'm sorry I went out Malcolm X.
I mean, and you can pin my synthesis again too, so, you know, it's okay. It's a nice vibe going on. So, anybody that you would like to work with in the near future? Wow,
you know, I really like Alicia Keys. Alicia Keys is phenomenal to me. I like, I mean, of course I could say I like Beyonce, that's obvious. There's not an artist that I can say that I don't want to work with, because I can appreciate what each artist does, you know. I like Frank Ocean. I like, of course, my Houston artists, you know. It's a lot of them that I would like to work with. But then there's a lot of artists that are known in the city but haven't got on like they should yet, and they've been doing it. I think Dallas Blocker is one. I remember from back in the day, Billy the Cook. You know what I mean? Like, some people know Billy the Cook, because that's what we used to call him, not Billy Cook. We used to call him Billy the Cook, Devin the Dude. Yeah. You know, I would love to work with Scarface. Like, not just sing background. Yeah. Slim Thug, Trader Truth, Bump B. You know what I mean? Like, the whole Trinity Garden Cartel. Yeah. You know, so, I mean, that's just some of the artists in Houston that I would love to work with. But it's just not fair to say you know, I mean, it's a lot of dope artists.
Is
out
there anybody in particular that's up and coming that you have your eye on?
The Blaxicans, Lisa De Niro, of course, Sweet Tea, my people that I've already mentioned. You know, it's, who else? Oh, Chris Zenon, or Chris Styles. I'm not sure, you know, sometimes artists change their names a little bit. Prince Armani. Who else? Let me see. Yeah, Prince Armani is dope. He's from Dallas. He's originally from Dallas, but he's in Houston now. So, I mean, it's just, who else? Is there anybody else that I could think of, like, right off of the... I can't see that. Y'all gonna have to slice that and put me in. What is this person's name? Desiree McKinney. Okay, Desiree McKinney.
That's all right.
Okay, gotcha. I'm like, I knew. Wait a minute. I knew that that's who they was talking about, but I just met her today.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and I can't see that far away. I was trying to. Can y'all see that?
I
I can.
gotta get outside.
Well, then I need to go to the other doctor.
I got one contact in. I can see that.
All right, so Desiree McKinney, Square's daughter. All
I
right.
just asked you about this Miss Desiree McKinney, and we're
Desiree.
gonna get into her in a little bit.
Okay.
Maybe, you know, I can get a little
Miss
collab going on, you
Yeah,
know, maybe in
man.
the track house. You know, hopefully,
It's gonna
Stuntgametv
happen.
TV here
It's
to
definitely
be
gonna
that,
happen.
you know, have a
Definitely
little
gonna
insight on that. So, is there any shout outs that you want to give?
No, I don't want to give no shout out. No, just playing. I want to give a shout out to you guys. I am grateful that you guys are here and took your time out to come and sit down and interview with me.
I mean, it's
know?
nothing, man. It's
I
nothing, man. I
appreciate
know
that.
we was running late and everything. It was a lot of stuff, man. So,
It's okay.
I mean,
You
we
made it.
appreciate
You
you.
made
We
it.
appreciate you, you know,
No
because it's no us without you, you know. So we appreciate all of that. You
I
know?
want to give a shout out to Pat, you know, Patrick Rodriguez, because a special shout out to him because I've been knowing Pat for years, and in some kind of way, we lost contact with each other and regrouped and reconnected some type of cosmic way. You know what I mean? And he'd never forgotten about me.
Not to cut you off, but you said y'all came back together?
Yeah, I met him. Ooh,
No, not 2000?
I don't even know what was it. It was early 2000 when I met.
Price was hot then. I don't know. She was hot.
So wait, let me think. I gotta remember exactly how old I was when I met this guy. Hold on. I probably was 20
20.
when I met him.
And P-Rod.
When I met P-Rod, when he was off of South Main
Hmm.
over there. Way up. No, was it Post Oak? It's South Post Oak. It was South Post Oak.
Okay, so he was in the car.
And I met him, I think,
You know, man.
because he was in the studio that Mike B used to be in. Mike B was a pretty well-known producer back in the day.
Yeah.
And I did some hooks for like, I did some hooks for Lil Kiki. I used to work with Jaime, and I knew Jaime before I met P-Rod, and you know, hey, it's history from there. He was probably one of the best producers that I had worked with back in that day. So you know he's progressed significantly.
So then when y'all linked back up, then
It was perfect because I was better and so was he. So
Yeah. I mean, she was doing her own beats, so it was just I dig it.
So it's been a pleasure having this conversation with a writer, producer, actress. Am I missing anything?
mother
Mother of
of 3.
3?
Yes. Mother of 3.
Mother of 3. I've heard you was also the third part of Mary. I thought it was Mary. I I think that's what they
That's
told
what he
me.
said.
You know, so, you know.
But you know what? It is. I don't even know. Like to be in the same sentence with them girls is something. You know what I mean? Like, cause they are extremely talented.
Well, you're extremely talented.
Thank you.
And it's been a pleasure. This skateboard for Stunt Gang TV. We out of here. Peace.
Look, I'm so corny. I'm like, how do I throw up deuces?
Yeah, I